All right guys, so I'm going to share with you my personal wedges. These are the Vokey SM5 wedges. Now these are a year old. These might be a good model for somebody that's looking for a little bit of a discount on a new wedge. They usually bump these back a little bit when the SM6s are now out. Or maybe you can find a used set online that's not quite worn out on the face, so still pretty clean on the face. I really like these a lot. If I show you very close up here, they got a nice shape to the head, really clean look to them. Not a lot of extra lines or ridges or anything like that. I like the sole on this F grind. That's what I like to use for my 56. I also recommend, I get a lot of times questions on what kind of bounce I should use. So this is a 56-degree wedge. I particularly like a high bounce wedge. So if I'm playing down here in Florida, we got Bermuda grass on the fringes around the greens. You want that bounce to actually slide through the turf and to not catch that Bermuda grass. So I use a 14-degree bounce, and basically what that means is this back edge is sticking up off the turf a little bit, and as you come down, that leading edge isn't going to catch on the turf and then start to dig down into the turf. It helps it to glide through there. Now on my 60-degree wedge, a little bit of a wider sole, I like to use the K grind, which basically, when you see these different grinds, that basically just means what does the sole look like on this wedge. This one's a little bit thicker. That's a nice grind on there. And even on this one, I have 11 degrees bounce on my 60 degree. Same thing, I like to use the F grind for my 50 degree. That has slightly less bounce just because it's going into more of a full iron type swing. So whenever you're using more of a full swing, you don't need quite as much bounce. The club's moving faster. It's not gonna have a tendency to dig into the ground. So usually regular irons are gonna have somewhere in that ballpark of 6 or 8 degrees of bounce, whereas your 56 is gonna have closer to 14 if you like a decent amount of bounce, and your other wedges are gonna have a little bit more than that. So that's what the overall, what I would recommend. Fairly higher bounce in the sand wedge, the gap wedge, and even in the lob wedge a little bit more than what's traditional. They do make lob wedges out there that only have a few degrees of bounce, but those can really start digging into the turf. Now, when we're using a wedge swing, a couple of things that I would really pay attention to here. We've got our nice wedges, these feel really well. I want to make sure that I get enough spin on these shots. So I don't want to go ahead and have shots that are just kind of landing on the green and rolling out. I want to get a nice amount of spin, especially if we're playing hard greens. And I got a couple tips for you that are really going to help you to boost up your spin a little bit. Number one, I want to make sure that I come fairly shallow into this ball. If I'm coming kind of right to left across this ball, if you're looking from this direction, if I'm coming down across this ball, my club is kind of sliding across rather than being delivered directly square into the back of the ball. That's going to cause me to lose some compression and to lose a little bit of spin. So I want to make sure as I'm coming down that I'm coming in nice and shallow. If we're looking from this direction, my hands are starting to rotate to close that club face, and I'm coming what feels like I'm coming in fairly shallow from the inside, square, and then back to the inside. So I'm not going inside out. I'm just going slightly to the inside and back to the inside. You may have a little slight draw tendency, that's okay. But that's going to help you to come in nice and shallow and really clip that ball off the ground, get a lot of spin on there. The second thing, I got to make sure that I de-loft this club. Usually pros on a sand wedge are de-lofting it down until you only have about 40 degrees of loft on the face at contact. So I'll start out with 56. I'm going to de-loft this until I'm all the way down at 40 at contact. And I'm doing that again by rotating, bowing this left wrist out, and then I'm angling the club forward, and you can see how it's still nice and square. If I don't bow my wrist and I just have my hands forward, that face is wide open. That ball is going a mile to the right. I've got to go ahead and rotate my hands to square that up. So here, coming in nice and shallow, I'm de-lofting the club by bowing my wrist and then getting some forward shaft lean. I feel like I can really pinch that golf ball, and that's really going to help you get those really tight-nipped, spinny shots. There we go. The last thing there, I want to make sure that I catch that a little bit low on the face. I don't want to get this ball way up high on the face. I want to keep it maybe a groove lower than what would be your normal shots, and that's going to help the gear effect actually add a little bit more spin to it to get you the most spin out there to hold those greens. So good luck to you guys. Get some good quality wedges. I love these SM5 wedges. Haven't tried out the SM6s. I'll try those out soon. And come in nice and shallow, de-loft the club, and get it about a groove low. You're going to be spinning the heck out of it and having a lot of fun. I'll see you guys soon. Hi guys, I hope y'all really enjoyed this video. If you did, I got a great bonus for you. I'm going to play a preview from one of my #1 lag videos. Are you struggling to get a lot of lag in the downswing? We know how important that is. We got to get lag. We got to release that lag to really let that club whip through contact. I'm going to play a preview from one of the best lag drills out there that I have. I'm going to show you how players like Rory McIlroy, Tiger Woods, Adam Scott all use this in their own swing. It's going to help you to hit it a lot farther, pick up some great speed. If you want to watch that video, go ahead and click the link that pops up in your screen. If you're on a mobile device, a phone, a tablet, go ahead and click the iCard, which is going to allow you to get instant access to that. If you guys have any questions, post them in the comments below. Click that thumbs up button, that really helps us out. And be sure to subscribe, that way you'll see our latest videos. Good luck, and I'll see you in the lag video. Hi guys, and welcome back. I'm Clay Ballard, and in today's video we're going to talk about one of the absolute worst drills for creating lag. It's a very common drill that I see. And in this drill, what we're going to do is we're going to set the wrist very early to create an angle of lag, and then we're going to try to hold this throughout the swing. It's one of the worst things that you can do to build lag. I'm going to talk about the science behind why this is the case, and I'm also going to give you a great drill to help you improve your lag, all in this video. Let's go ahead and get started. If I do it this way versus holding that position, exact same thing happens when we're building the lag in the golf swing. So what we want to do is throughout the swing, I want to have a very low and wide takeaway. So I'm not going to set my wrist early at all. If you look at a lot of the top players, you look at Adam Scott, very wide takeaway, not very much wrist set at all. You look at Rory McIlroy, you look at Tiger Woods. All these players are using a wide takeaway and not getting very much wrist set, so that later in the swing, as we start down, we can increase this wrist set, and we're really only going to max out this angle of lag for a split second in the downswing. Okay, so a three-step drill here. Now, as we get started with this, I want to remind you that the fulcrum in this golf club for getting a massive amount of lag is right at the end of the golf club. This is where I want my hinge point to be. I want to use the full length of this club to build lag and then release.